Now or Never. Written by Emily Conrad. Narrated by Emily Conrad. Chapter 1. You're lucky you're dying. Tim's daughter slammed the SUV's door to punctuate her declaration. About that. Even alone in the vehicle, Tim couldn't bring himself to voice the latest development. You're lucky you're dying. Isabella's statement burrowed deep and promised to fester. At 23, she should have outgrown such theatrics. Then again, she was an actress, and he hadn't shared the results of his biopsy. What was he, a 52-year-old, doing keeping secrets? Grasping at straws, that's what. If he'd told Isabella about his great prognosis, she wouldn't have come on this trip, and how would he ever connect with her? Her locks shimmered under the blazing Iowa sun as she stalked up the wide concrete steps and into the brick building. She'd inherited his blonde hair, though the thick texture was a gift from her mother. The first day of their trip, she'd worn shorts so short he'd seen swimming suits with better coverage. Since then, he'd been cranking the air conditioning. The strategy had worked. She'd paired today's cropped top with full-length jeans. She slung open the door and disappeared inside like she owned the restaurant, though that distinction went to a former client of his named Philip Miller. He breathed a long sigh. For all Tim's mistakes, at least he'd succeeded at raising an independent woman. If only he didn't have to watch her use that strength to brazenly repeat his worst choices. To think this road trip was supposed to bring them closer. He swiped his hand down his face and prayed for wisdom. Asking God for help in moments like these was finally coming more naturally to him after becoming a believer 8 years before. He pushed open the door, and heat waving off the fresh asphalt swamped him as he stepped out of the vehicle. At the entrance, a vintage-looking marquee sign labeled the business The Depot and promised food, drinks, and music. The music part had prompted the trouble with Isabella. She'd been asking him to drop the nickname since age 13. A decade later, he shouldn't keep slipping. He had to do better. He would do better. Inside, the dining area occupied the front third of the converted train station. Then came the bar, situated to serve diners and those attending shows.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?